طريقتنا الصحبة والخير في الجمعية. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فانظر إلى سعر نعمتنا صدق الله العظيم أو كما قال الله عز وجل. Yeryüzünde yürüyün, Allah'ın mahlukatına yarattıkları şeylere bakın.
Allah Almighty orders, travel around the world and look and observe what Allah Almighty has created.
Allah Azze ve Celle'nin zatına bakmak, ona tefekkür etmek olmaz.
It is impossible to look at the very being of Allah Almighty and to comprehend the essential being of Allah Almighty. That is not possible.
Onun yarattıklarına bakacaksınız.
Instead, we must look at what Allah Almighty created.
Onun zatı kimsenin aklına, hayaline girmez.
Allah Almighty's being, Allah Almighty's essence may not fit into anyone's mind or into anyone's imagination.
Bir tayfa var şimdi Allah Azze ve Celle için göklerdedir, yerdedir.
There is now a group of people who claims and says things like Allah Almighty is in the skies or Allah Almighty is in the earth.
Allah hiçbir yere sığmaz. Hepsi Allah'ın yarattığı için o başka mesele.
But Allah Almighty does not fit into its own creation. He Almighty Allah is the creator and He may not fit into anywhere since everything is His creation and He is the creator.
Hassas mesele, nereye gidersen Allah Azze ve Celle'nin yarattıkları şeylere bakıp ibret almak.
And what is important for us therefore is that wherever we go, that we look at what Allah Almighty created and take a lesson from His creation.
Allah'a şükür bugün de biz epeyce bir Şeyh Nazim Efendi, Şeyh babamızın bereketiyle, onun hilletiyle dünya her tarafta tarikatın müritleri var.
And we have come to witness that with the blessings and the spiritual presence and support of our blessed father Mawlana Shaykh Nazim, that the tariqah has spread throughout the entire world and there are brothers and sisters following the tariqah throughout the entire world.
Sevenleri var, edenler var. Onlara ara sıra oraya buraya gidiyoruz.
And everywhere we find people who follow the tariqah and who love Mawlana Shaykh Nazim, and every now and then we have the possibility to and the opportunity to go and visit them.
Her taraf Allah'ın yarattığı yerler güzeldir.
Everything, all places are beautiful, all places and everything Allah Almighty created is beautiful.
Her şeyi Allah en mükemmel şekilde yaratmış.
Allah Almighty created everything in the most perfect and best manner.
İnsanların faydası için.
And Allah Almighty created everything in the best form for the benefit of people.
Ama mühim olan nereye gitsen artık yani orada seyahat edip de seyahat için değil de Allah rızası için.
But what is important is that when you go somewhere, you should not just go for the sake of traveling, but it should be a journey for the sake of Allah Almighty.
Bizim maksadımız.
And our intention is to not travel, but to make this journey for the sake of Allah Almighty.
Yoksa artık dünya hepsi aynı olmuş.
And the state and the way things are in this world are everywhere things are equal and look equal.
Büyük caddeler, binalar, bilmem şuydu buydu.
Wherever you go, you will find places built based on the same pattern. There are large roads, huge buildings. Every city, every place now shares the same pattern and looks alike.
Hemen hemen nereye gitsen hiçbir şey yani insan dünyadan zevk almaz.
And wherever you go and travel these days, you will no longer find a difference, and you may no longer experience that particular individual taste of a place.
Ama zevk aldığımız şey oradaki o insanların, ihvanlarımızın, ihvan olacak, hidayete erecek insanların.
But the joy we experience and the joy we look for is to make this journey for the sake of Allah Almighty, and to meet the people for the sake of Allah Almighty, and to meet our brothers and sisters who follow the tariqah for the sake of Allah Almighty, and to meet those who are going to follow the way of the tariqah.
Sevmişlerdir, onlardır mühim olan.
It is that joy of those who await us for the sake of Allah Almighty. It is the joy of those who will now newly enter the way of the tariqah, and it is this joy for the sake of Allah Almighty which drives our journey, and which is the enjoyment of our journey for the sake of Allah Almighty.
Yoksa dünyada seyahattır, meyahattır. Tabii oraya buraya gidiyoruz ama Allah razı olsun, onlar da hizmet ediyor da seviniyorlar.
So to make this journey for the sake of Allah Almighty is about meeting people for the sake of Allah Almighty, and seeing and being and witnessing their happiness and joy for the sake of Allah Almighty. This journey is not about traveling from one place or the other place. The travel is a means to meet all those people, and those people, they are happy and they are joyful and they are in excitement and make preparations because they are happy to serve and to host for the sake of Allah Almighty.
Bizim mühim sevindiğimiz şey insanların sevinmesi.
And it is the happiness and the joy of people that makes us happy, and which is our enjoyment of this journey.
Onların mutlu olması, o mutluluk da Allah'ın sevgisi için mutlu olmuşlar.
It is their happiness that makes us happy, and it is their happiness that drives our journey, and it is their happiness for the sake of Allah Almighty which is our joy.
Allah'a yöneldiler, bu yolda de.
We are happy that they have turned towards their Lord Allah Almighty. We are happy that they have turned towards following this way.
Toplanıp da beraber olmamız onların büyük sevinç oluyor. Bize de o sevinç oluyor. Yoksa
they are happy to come together for the sake of Allah Almighty, and they are happy to host us for the sake of Allah Almighty, and we are happy to travel and meet them for the sake of Allah Almighty.
Dağıtı, saçtı, binaydı, şuydu, buydu. Onların hiç ehemmiyeti yok.
There's no importance to the places themselves or the buildings or the sightseeing that you may find in those places. There's no importance to them.
Şey olsun, dünyanın en lüks yeri, en zengin yeri olsun, isterse en fakir yeri olsun.
It doesn't matter whether it is the richest place or the most luxurious place, or whether it's the poorest place.
Olsun, hiçbir farkı yoktur.
Those conditions don't make a difference.
O insanlar mutlu oluyor, seviniyor ya.
What makes the difference is the happiness of people.
Allah rızası için Allah'ın verdiği bu.
What makes the difference is the joy of people which they experience for the sake of Allah Almighty.
İman sevgisi, İslam sevinci.
It is the joy of having faith, iman, and it is the joy and happiness of Islam.
Odur bizim için mühim olan.
And it is the joy of faith and the happiness of Islam that is important for us, and that we seek to meet in those places where we travel.
Allah ziyade etsin inşallah müminleri.
May Allah Almighty increase that joy within the believers.
Çoğalsın.
May Allah Almighty increase the numbers of the believers.
Bu gideceğimiz yer epeyce bir uzak yerdir.
And the place we are now going to travel to is a place which is far away.
Daha önce bir defa gitmiştik.
And we had the chance to travel there before once.
İkinci defa nasip olur mu diye
And we were wondering whether we may get the chance to travel there another time.
düşünmüştük. Allah'a şükür inşallah nasip olur.
And thanks to Allah Almighty, inshallah, we will now have the second chance to travel there for another time.
Bugüne gidip selametle geliriz. Oradaki
Inshallah, with Allah Almighty's permission, we will have this opportunity today to travel there safely and securely, and to return in safety, peacefully, in health.
hayvanlar da sevsinler. Çünkü gelecek olan epeyce bir uzak yer.
And the people we are going to meet, they are already very happy and excited because the place we travel to is far away.
İnsanlar da maddi imkanları çok fazla yok.
And the people there don't have necessarily the financial means to make the journey to come here.
Onun için oraya gidince onlar da Allah rızası için seviniyorlar.
Therefore, they are happy when we come and visit them, and because they are happy for the sake of Allah Almighty.
Çok seviniyorlar. O çoğalsınlar insanlar. Allah
They are very happy to meet us and to host us for the sake of Allah Almighty, and may Allah Almighty increase their numbers.
onları da muhafaza etsin.
And may Allah Almighty protect them.
Başkalarına da hidayete vesile olsunlar inşallah.
And may they become the means of guidance for many more people to come and join this way.
Ailelerine, ailelerine, akrabalarını hepsini imana girsin.
May they be the means for their families and their relatives to enter the way of faith.
İnşallah İslam'a girsinler.
May they enter the way of Islam.
Bize de dünya ahiret saadet olsa hepimiz.
And may this journey be a means for us to achieve bliss both in this world as well as in the hereafter.
İnşallah. Hamdulillah. Tevfik. El-Fatiha.